Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is the Top Delinquent, chapter 61, and this one is titled Reunited and Content. She knows the truth now, Iida reiterated. Would you allow me to arrange a meeting for the two of you? You would have to go to her rehabilitation centre. Yes, that's fine. You just tell me the time and day and I'll be in attendance, Mrs. Craig said earnestly. Very well, I will arrange it and be in contact soon, Iida said, still with a bow. You smiled at Mrs. Craig, and she smiled tearfully back at you. Let me know how it goes, you added softly. I will, she replied with a nod. The following week, the same day as Iida got his new fluorescent cast put on, your Auntie Jane was taken to see her sister. The car was arranged to pick Mrs. Craig up and drive her there, while you were with Iida at his physio appointment to get the new cast on. So how's it looking, Doc? You questioned the physio. Yeah, it's healing nicely, she replied, checking the x-rays that had been taken at an earlier date. I think he will only need this cast for 3 or 4 more weeks before he can take it off for good. That's good, you said happily. We should do something to celebrate, Tenya, once it comes off. That would be wonderful, Iida replied with a closed-lipped smile to you before watching as the physio cut the cast off. I would very much enjoy an outing with my arm being incapacitated. You've been so patient, you said to him, patting his good arm gently. Not long now and you'll be free of it. In another 20 minutes the physio had the cast removed, arm measured and 3D cast printed, and it was fitted neatly to Iida's arm. How does it feel? The physio asked him as he stared down at the new 3D one in awe and winced a bit. It is a little stiff at the joint, he said tenderly, rubbing his elbow, holding it as he tried to stretch his arm out through the pain. We'll work on that, the physio promised. For now, just use your arm as you usually would. The cast will protect against any heavy blows, but we need to start facilitating normal movement again. Iida nodded, still trying to stretch his arm, bringing it to his body and then pushing it out again. All of his pain's because of me, you thought sadly, your remorse clearly showing on your face. Iida caught your look and turned to you. Yin, I would do it all again without hesitation, he said earnestly. Do not even entertain sadness at my plight. You nodded and looked away, still feeling a little bad. Later that afternoon, Iida was at your place, and you pulled out some moisturising cream to rub onto his elbow to massage the pain away. Please be gentle, Iida urged. It is most tender. I know, you replied with a gentle smile. I'll be gentle. I just want to help in some way. I feel bad otherwise. I already told you. You need not feel bad. I know, you sighed. You had only just started to massage the cream in when there was a soft knock at your front door. Who could that be? You hummed quizzically as you got up to investigate. You opened the door to Auntie Jane and gasped with excitement. You done already? Come in. How'd it go? How's Mum? Question after question spilled from your lips. It was a very emotional reunion, your Auntie Jane said in a slightly dazed voice. So many emotions. I bet. As you walked Auntie Jane in, she saw Iida on the couch with his new cast on. Oh, Iida, my apologies. I didn't know you were visiting, Mrs. Craig said politely. Please, come in, Iida said, standing quickly and bowing to her. How was your visit with your sister? Wonderful, she replied with a soft smile. But first, congratulations on your new cast. I assume your arm is improving? Yeah, physio said it would be about 3 to 4 weeks before he got the cast off fully, but it's doing well. Bit sore, but okay, you reported. Nice to know you're doing your nursing duties well, Auntie Jane said it in an amused voice, giving you a side glance. You huffed with a smirk and looked back at Iida with his fluoro cast. So how was it? You asked Auntie Jane, gesturing to one of the other chairs in the lounge room. She walked over and sat down, plopping her hands into her lap and leaning forward to tell you both about the reunion as you both took your seats again. Well, long story short, we got to discussing what happened to us while we were apart. Auntie Jane paused, her bottom lip quivering as she looked down into her hands and wrung them together. Is it what you feared? You asked gently. Your stepfather? Auntie Jane nodded sadly, wiping a stray tear with the back of her hand, her glasses being adjusted higher on her face as she tried to clear her eyes. I'm so sorry, you said, quickly standing and walking over to hug her. She reached up and hugged you back. It's fine. I'm just glad her and I are in contact again. We got to talk a lot out, and I don't know about her, but I feel a lot lighter. She also asked if I would look after you, Yin, while she's getting help. She said she wanted to apologise to you for being a terrible mother, and that she wants to do better. Tell her I appreciate it, he replied with a smile, and tell her to take all the time she needs to recover. Auntie Jane nodded again. I'll tell her that. We have weekly meetings scheduled at the rehabilitation centre, so I'll get to see her often, she said happily. That's great, he said with a relieved smile. I am grateful that everything has worked out, Iida added in as well. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll be heading home. I need to rest, Auntie Jane said with a tired sigh. I've had a big day. Of course, you and Iida said in unison. Go and rest. Iida stood in a half bow at the lounge as you saw Auntie Jane off to your door and watched her walk next door and then turned and made your way back to Iida. I'd love to have some kind of magical reunion with Mum or Dad, something that turns everything around, you know. For the time being, I will be your family, Iida said gently, sitting back down on the lounge and patting the seat beside him. Feeling overwhelmed with love for him, you sat down and snuggled into his side. Thank you, Tenya. And there is the end of chapter 61. Stay tuned for chapter 62 coming tomorrow.